All right. Welcome to part 2 of our practical divination series, Pendulum Basics. So, what is a pendulum? A pendulum is an item with some weight that hangs down from a string and swings freely. Okay? So, this is a pendulum that I made with a bead and some string. This is a rose quartz pendulum which fell and the tip came off. Okay, once you're comfortable using a pendulum, you can use anything and it's fine. But when I'm trying to do really precise work, healing work, I use a brass pendulum. This is the Isis Super 8 pendulum. And it came with a black string, but I use it so much that the string broke. And so I've been using fishing line, which has stayed really sturdy. But I'm going to start using this one to show you how, black string, to show you how to determine the length of your string first, okay? So you have a pendulum, there's a length of string, and you want to start by doing your ego killer meditation, right? Get yourself into that neutral space. So either pause and go back and do the full meditation if you need to, or close your eyes. Breathe deep into the earth. Feel the earth in your heart. Breathe open to the sky. Feel the sky come into your body and into your heart. Feel the earth and the sky together in your heart as your heart opens and expands. And now, without any pressure on this, just as a playful experiment, grab your pendulum at the top of the string and just let it swing, let it move. Okay? It's okay if you give it some movement. You don't be afraid of that. And then you're gonna just inch your way down and find the place where it moves the most. See how it started moving a lot more here? Like with more intensity. Find the spot where it moves the most, and then either tie a knot, put a bead in that spot, or just even if you measure and remember, like, oh, it's the length of this finger or something, you want to know where's your most active spot on the string, okay? So for me, it's usually about here. And so on the pendulum I use the most, I actually just have it at the right, I have the string at the right length. A couple different ways to hold your pendulum. You can simply grab it, like pinch it. You can wrap it over your finger. So I'm sort of holding the string in my palm and have it wrapped over my finger. Any way that's comfortable for you, really. On the one hand, you want to try not to physically manipulate it. On the other hand, like, don't be afraid of physically manipulating it. It's fine. It's okay. So I take this, wrap it around my fingers, and this is about the length that I'm working with, but you can go to wherever is most active for you. We are going to, in this basic class, learn how to get a yes and a no answer. And we're just going to start with that because you can do so much with yes and no. Okay? And then in our advanced pendulum class, we can go into a little more detail on some other ways to use the pendulum. Some basic rules. You don't want to abuse or overuse your pendulum. So once you get comfortable using your pendulum, it's going to be exciting and you're going to want to use it for everything. The more you use it, the more you intuitively get to know your own yes and no, and the less you will need it. So when you start not needing it, back off on using it. I always tell the story of the time that I went on a road trip that was primarily guided by my pendulum. This is real. I had certain places I knew that I was going, but certain things I didn't know. And I had gotten really comfortable with using the pendulum and wanted to be guided. I wanted to be guided. I was in a very expanded time in my life, and it was beautiful. So I would literally be driving and holding my pendulum and like, should I get off at this exit? Should I turn right? Should I turn left? So I'm in this road trip in the car using the pendulum safely. And I started to notice that it was telling me the opposite of the truth, right? So I knew that I should get off at the exit and it would say no. Or I knew that I shouldn't get off at the exit and it would say yes, something like that. So I knew that I shouldn't get off at the exit, but I asked and it said yes. I'm like, that's not true. I knew, right? I had gotten so comfortable with what yes felt like and what no felt like in my body that I didn't need the physical pendulum to tell me. It was on that road trip that I also developed my inner pendulum, which we'll do in part 3, the next video. So you don't want to overuse or abuse your pendulum. What is a pendulum? How does it work? Let's talk about that. So your pendulum is just a physical, external representation of your internal yes and no. Okay? It is showing you resonance, yes, and dissonance, no. So when you say something that is not true, that is not in coherence or in alignment with the truth, it's going to give you no, dissonance. When you say something or ask something that is in resonance, that is in alignment, you're going to get resonance, yes, right? So that's what we're getting clear on. Yes and no, resonance and dissonance, okay? How does the pendulum move? It is moved by a very slight, like, pulse from within your body. So it is moved by you, but the movement is not a conscious movement, okay? The impulse that moves the pendulum, that slight movement in your body that moves the pendulum, is not, it's beyond your consciousness. So you can manipulate the pendulum and say, give me a yes, and it will give you a yes. And you can say, give me a no, and it will give you a no, right? But when you are asking a question from actual neutrality, you can just get the response that your body gives for a yes, your body gives to the pendulum, or the response that your body gives to the pendulum for a no. So it is coming from you. It is coming from your body, okay? And when I say that you kind of like, you don't want to move the pendulum, like you don't want to like move the pendulum and try to give yourself a yes or a no. But it's okay to give the pendulum some movement, some momentum, and then let it find its direction of movement, okay? So we're using the pendulum to get a yes or a no. We understand that our body is moving the pendulum, but it's not our conscious mind telling the pendulum what to do, right? It is the impulses of our body, the resonance and dissonance within our body in these tiny little pulses that moves the pendulum. You can manipulate the pendulum with your non-neutrality, okay? You can manipulate the pendulum however you want. So the point is to not want to manipulate it, but to want to actually receive truth. And so that leads us to the 6 questions that we're going to use in order to determine if this is the right moment to use the pendulum, if we are in the right place to use the pendulum. So you start with your 3-part meditation, the earth, the sky, the heart, right? So I'll give you the structure of this and then we'll do it. So you start with your meditation, and then your first question is, show me my yes. Okay? Your second question is, show me my no. Your third question is really a statement of something that's true. Your fourth question is a statement of something that's false. Question or statement. 5 is everything coming through aligned with highest good and highest truth, right? And 6 is, am I manipulating? So these questions are set up so that your pendulum shows you yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, right? Show me my yes, show me my no. Something true, something false. Is everything aligned with highest good and highest truth? Am I manipulating? So it's done like that so that you can see your pendulum switch. Show you yes, show you no, show you yes, show you no, show you yes, show you no. Once you do that and it's in flow, if you get the correct answer to each of your questions, then you know that you're in a good place. You and your higher self are communicating properly through the pendulum, and you can go forward and ask your questions, okay? So, grab your pendulum, find your correct placement on the string, the most active, most supportive placement on the string. And rather than starting from totally still and trying to get it to move, just go ahead and give the pendulum some movement and then kind of still your arm and let it keep moving. So just get the feel of what it is for it to move. And then when you are ready and you want to feel into your heart, feel the earth and the sky in your heart, feeling yourself really present, maybe taking a moment to do those 3 breaths again. Breathing into the earth, into the sky, into the heart. And you want to ask your pendulum, show me my yes. This is you communicating with your higher self. So you can say, show me my yes. You can say, please show me my yes. Show me yes, please. Would you please show me yes? I'd like to see yes now. Anything you want. I'm just going to keep it simple. Show me my yes. Okay? For me, yes is a clockwise circle. For you, it may be different, but you can also make it what you want it to be. So, show me yes. What is yes? When you feel like you have some movement there, you can switch. Show me no. My no is a back and forth. It's a little diagonal. What's your no? Now you're now you're going to ask something true. Say something true. This could be simple, like, my name is Lizzie. My name is Elizabeth. My hair is dark. It could be something a little more nuanced, like, I feel pretty comfortable right now. I feel anxious right now. Whatever your truth is in this moment, say something true or ask something that you know the answer is yes. Don't make it too complicated. Keep it simple. Okay, so my hair is dark. And now something that's not true. Once you get your yes on your yes, then you want something that's not true. My hair is blonde. My name is Anna. I feel nervous. I feel calm. Whatever your no is. So once you've gotten your no, the last 2 questions. Is everything coming through aligned with highest good and highest truth? So you want to get your yes on that. We'll talk about what happens if you get the wrong answer in a moment. Is everything coming through, everything I'm receiving, aligned with highest good and highest truth? The next question is, am I manipulating? And so you should get a no on that. Now, if you get the wrong answer, if you say, my hair is dark, and your hair is dark, and you get a no, or if you say, is everything coming through aligned with highest good and highest truth, and you get a no, or you say, am I manipulating, and you get a yes. If you get any wrong answers, stop, go back to the beginning. You want to go do your alignment, your ego killer alignment meditation, maybe a little more than you did the last time, and then state your intention very clearly. My intention is to receive truth for my highest good. I do not wish to manipulate. I wish to receive truth. Please align me with truth now. And then try the questions, all 6 of them again. Sometimes it's just not the right moment for any number of reasons, because you're not in the right place, because of other things going on in the world or in your environment. There are any number of reasons why it might not be the moment for you to use the pendulum, but if it's not the moment, set it aside for another time, okay? I can't stress this enough. If it's not right, don't push it. Because what you're doing is developing a relationship of trust with this tool and with yourself. And so you need to honor and respect the knowing and the answers that it's giving you. If it's giving you wrong answers, it's telling you something. It's not the moment, right? So this is like step 1 in that trust building. And this really is the key of what these divination practices do for you. They help you to build trust and build a relationship with yourself, with your inner knowing, with your truth, with your relationship to your truth. Okay? So we really don't want to push and manipulate. So once you have done your ego killer meditation, gone through those 6 questions, and now you're good, you're in the flow with your pendulum, now's when you want to start asking your questions. So go ahead, you should have a list now of yes/no questions, and I want you to make your way through these questions. I like to write them down and then just put a Y or an N, a yes or a no, if I have a bunch of questions to get through. But remember that this is a conversation with yourself. So it might flow in the moment. You might say, let's go back to the idea of the, am I getting this job, right? Will I get this job? Which has turned into all these other questions about, why do I want this job? What do I think it means for me? What does it mean for my life in order to say yes to it or to say no to it? So if you ask a question like, is this job aligned with my highest path? And you get a no, then that brings up more questions. Like, well, then why do I want it so much? I would probably do a little bit of work to like, why did I think this job was right for me? And then turn those into yes/no questions. Like, is it the money that feels promising? Is it the freedom? Is it the time commitment that makes it not a match for me, right? So you want to, when you get your answer, then that opens up a whole new avenue of questions. So it's a conversation that you're going to continue. So go ahead and take some time now. We'll end this video and take some time to work with your pendulum and get some answers and allow it to drive you into further inquiry with yourself. Okay? And if things start to be not quite right, you start to doubt the answers that you're getting, anything like that, stop and either put it aside for another day or go back to the beginning, realign, state your intention very clearly, be more discerning with your intention and be more discerning with your questions, right? And go through your 6 questions again and then start asking the questions again. This is an opportunity to be really truthful with yourself. So please take that opportunity because it opens up a whole world of trust with yourself, which is such a beautiful thing. So that's it for part 2, the basics of using a pendulum. And part 3, we're going to talk about your inner pendulum next.